You are now watching The Lone Blown. Blown! If you're looking for one of the best places to buy codes online, look no further than atlaspokemart.com. You can use the code TheLoneBlown12 to save 12% off all of your instantly emailed codes. They got a lot of great codes on this website, such as Darkness Ablaze, Rebel Clash, so if you're looking for anything to complete any of your collections, head over here, and the codes are great priced as well. Thanks! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? We're back here, and I'm back in my first video that I've actually created in my new office space. So super happy to be back to creating content, at least regularly for now, crossing my fingers. Been working on my schedule, but enough about that. Let's jump into this deck. This is a deck created by one of my really good friends, Gabriel Smart, and his testing partner, Caleb Rogerson. They've been playtesting for the Hedgester TCG events, and they've been going over this Garchomp, Giratina, Machamp, Marshadow, Magneton Greens deck. So this deck's popped up in a few iterations, and the goal of this deck is to do big damage with Calamitous Slash, to knock out some Pokemon, or to counter Pokemon that are weak to fighting. Now, it should be noted that Eternatus VMAX is weak to fighting, Picarom's weak to fighting, and I'm sure there's got to be a handful of other cards. So this deck works off of the Green's Exploration Engine, and it's kind of just like a counter to the metagame. So I do want to note, if you are missing any cards for this deck, head to atlaspokemart.com and use code TheLoneBlown12. You probably saw an ad before this to save. It's also all in the description along with this deck list, so if you don't want to see the deck list here or whatever, you can just copy it out of the description. And be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Getting back into it, so basically you can do a lot of damage with Calamitous Slash. 160 plus 80 does 240. You can get the damage counter in play with Zigzagoon. Now, I don't necessarily think Zigzagoon is as important as other cards in this deck. It sucks if you have it in play because you can't use Green's Exploration, but I mean, it works. You can also use GG End to discard one of your opponent's Pokemon if you're in trouble. Linear Attack can set this Pokemon up nicely for a knockout on an ADP. Machamp Marshadow, great to knock out Picarom with Revenge. You could use 100 Blows Impact in combination with Martial Arts Dojo to do some more damage, getting knockouts on Eternatus VMAX. This is basically a Pokemon that can knock out fighting type weak Pokemon. Now, you might be like, why is Magneton in here? Well, you want to give up prize cards. Not only do you want to use Call Signal, search up supporters, you want to go for like Lieutenant Surge, playing other cards like Green's Exploration and Boss. You also want to be behind on prize card for Karate Belt, so that your Pokemon's attacks cost fighting energy less. Now, you could be fighting energy less for GG End, Calamitous Slash, Revenge, 100 Blows Impact, Acme of Heroism. So you got some great options there. You also have Martial Arts Dojo, and if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, you're doing an additional 40 damage for your basic fighting energy Pokemon. So you can do more damage with your attacks. So consider that. This does also work with both of these Pokemon as long as they have a fighting energy. They are basic Pokemon, so keep that in mind. With it being a green stack, it does have a bunch of different techs that you could play. So you want Energy Spinner to grab things, Evolution Incense can grab your Magneton, you got Pal Pad to get back some of your supporters, Pokegear to grab your supporters, making your deck more consistent, Quick Ball to grab out any of your Pokemon except Magneton, Reset Stamp to put your opponent in a bind. You've got one copy of Scoop Up Net to either get Magneton or Magnemite out of the active spot, or Zigzagoon out of the active spot, especially if you want to use Green's Exploration. A couple copies of Switch to just have some mobility. Your Pokemon are pretty chonky, so they got triple retreat cost right there. Tag Call can search out both of your Giratina Garchomp and your Machamp Marshadow. Tool Scrapper in case you run into anything funky. Martial Arts Dojo, we already explained that. Power Plant is a great way to just stop GX Pokemon hurting your opponent's Mewtwo, Mew, DAA-GX. A lot of players forget about Power Plant, especially now that we're so used to this card being out of the format for the most part. Boss orders to bring up whatever we want. Green's Exploration, remember, make sure you do not have Magneton, and remember that you do not have Zigzagoon in play in order to grab 2 trainer cards of your choice. Kabu's an interesting choice. I actually used it in one of my testing games for this. You could shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 4, and if your active Pokemon's your only Pokemon in play, which is possibility with Scoop Up Nets, or by using Call Signal, or just starting a single Pokemon. Kabu can be hot. Lieutenant Surge pulls it all together. Research is a great way to just pitch your hand. Karate Belt, lowering the attack cost, and then we have enough energy to make this deck work. So, I mean, let's try a couple games out with it and see exactly how this deck ticks. Is it going to be the deck that counters the meta or not? Let's find out. Okay, so we're going to call the flip, see exactly what we can do. We won the flip. Now, since we're playing a green deck, I don't believe we want to go first. I think we want to go second with this deck. So, we'll let our opponent go first. Unfortunately, I mean, no matter what, it's always weird to not go first. But Scorch, green stacks, it all seems to work out. Let's see what's going on here. So our opponent's playing Eternatus. We definitely want to go for a Machamp Marshadow focus this game. I think we definitely have a hand that can allow us to make that happen. Especially with Green's Exploration, Lieutenant Surge, just all things going on. Our opponent's getting a pretty normal setup here. We really just want to focus after their Eternatus. So we're going to go ahead here and go Green's Exploration. We're going to search our deck for a Tag Call, and we're going to search our deck for a Green's Exploration. So let's go... Sorry, for a second I was like, did I grab Tag Call? Did I grab Tag Call? We're going to grab double Machamp Marshadow because it's going to pull more weight in this matchup. For sure. And we're going to grab Energy Spinner to grab 1, 2, 3 copies of energies. If our opponent were to do anything like Marnie, we always have access to Viridian Forest. So I'm just going to go like this. And I'm going to attach this there. Now, I don't know if I want to go Quick Ball for anything else. It's tough if I want to grab another Magnemite. If they end up knocking us out, I'm actually okay with that. So I'm going to leave the Karate Belt as is, just because I'm not sure which one we're going to go after. And I'm going to go ahead here and pass. So, I mean, I think we're in a pretty good spot. I don't want our opponent to play a Tool Scrapper, which they could be playing. I don't want our opponent to do anything crazy. Okay, so they did end up getting a Crushing Hammer. That's fine. Now, it is possible for us to get the knockout still. We just need to go Zigzagoon, Scoop Up Net, Martial Arts Dojo with Revenge, if we're behind on prize cards. See exactly what our opponent decides to do here. It's like this deck was meant to be. There's the Magnemite, there's the Lieutenant Surge. Lieutenant Surge is in the picture with the Magnemite, and boy does that Magnemite look happy to be getting knocked out. So we'll see exactly what our opponent's trying to do here. The Crushing Hammer is a little bit annoying, but that's okay. Okay, so they are going with the boss orders. So I am going to go for Green's Exploration. Now, I just want to be very sure if I can get the knockout here or not. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage during your opponent's attack during their last turn, so they're not knocking out the Magnemites, we got a vibe here. So let's go Green's Exploration for a switch. And let's go for an Evolution Incense. Or actually, let's go... Yeah, let's go Evolution Incense and switch. So let's go Evolution Incense here to search your deck for a Magneton. We are going to go Quick Ball, discarding away Tool Scrapper. I don't think our opponent's going to play anything weird with that. We're going to grab a Magnemite here. And this deck does require quite a bit of different things going on. We do want to pop off here. So we're going to go Call Signal for a Green's Exploration, and a Boss's Orders. Now I do want... So we don't have the Zigzagoon here, actually. So I actually am going to try to get the attack off. I'm glad I didn't press switch yet. So green's boss, I think, is fine. So we are going to go and attack with Revenge. Our opponent will draw a prize card here. So we do need to do Revenge for 60 damage in order to get the Oko next turn. And let's go ahead and go Revenge here. So the switch was probably wasted, but that's fine. We could do a lot of stuff next turn. Hopefully our opponent doesn't get too set up here. We're just going to try to reset stamp them out of anything that they got going on. So there's their Eternatus VMAX. I mean, they're very close to just getting what they want. And the Marnie here is really going to hurt us. I mean, maybe Pokegear sounds good. We'll see. So the fact that we had our Zigzagoon prize, meaning that we couldn't get the knockout, is pretty tough. But let's see exactly what we could do here. So let's go Pokegear first. I mean, Lieutenant Surge is definitely one of the cards that we want to see when we're playing this matchup. So we're going to do this. We're going to go Fighting Energy there. We're going to go, let's go Research. Let's go Evolution Incense. We are going to grab a Magneton. We're going to pop this Magneton. Call Signal. Grabbing a Boss Orders, a Green's Exploration, and a Lieutenant Surge. Okay, so now that we got that all going on, let's go with... We can still do Green's Exploration, but let's go with Pokegear to see if we can get something else. I will grab a Kabu just because. We're going to go Green's Exploration here. For a Martial Arts Dojo. We have access to energy. And I'm going to grab another Green's Exploration. And you want to know what? That's a huge mistake. So we can see that I didn't grab a Karate Belt, and I'm punished for that. I thought that we haven't attached an energy for the turn. So unfortunately, we're actually going to lose this game. I mean, it's possible that we might not. Let's go like this. Let's go Reset Stamp. And if our opponent doesn't get this, we might be able to. If they don't get an energy, they might just have to attack us. So we got a couple turns. I mean, I took away a solid chance of us winning this game, though. So they need to find a Pokemon, and they need to find an energy. So there's a Crobat. We're just going to preemptively get the concede. Yeah. Oops. So our goal this game is not to get distracted and forget about Karate Belts. Would I like to go first? No, we're going to go second again. I kind of just got thrown off a little bit there, made a mistake, but it just shows you how skillful this deck is compared to other big decks like Eternatus, where my opponent's was able to play down a Pokemon and get a knockout, whereas I had to plan multi-actions in a turn. So I know it's completely my fault that I forgot about Karate Belt and I instantly realized it, but it's another thing where it's a rewarding deck to play. You are rewarded for skillful play. I likely would have been rewarded to win that game. I mean, my opponent did get a Crobat, so there's nothing that we could have done there. Let's see exactly how this ADP matchup goes. So, from what I understand, we want to go for more of a tag call into a into a Garchomp Giratina in this matchup with Martial Arts Dojo. So we're going to start here by going Green's Exploration. It's actually probably better to go with Energy Spinner, just to see what we have in the deck first, since we have so many copies. I'm going to grab one copy of Psychic Energy first. And I'm going to grab another Psychic Energy. And you want to know what I'm probably going to grab? A Fighting Energy as well. So here we're just vibing. Just seeing what we have prized. I know I want to go for Green's Exploration. And the Green's Exploration is going to lead us into a... I don't think our opponent's going to attack us next turn. So I'm actually just going to go for an Evolution Incense. And a Tag Call. I think that that's the correct line of play. And I'm going to Quick Ball away a Tool Scrapper. Searching my deck for another Magnemite. And I'm going to Tag Call, searching my deck for... I'm going to search for both of these cards. I mean, I think it's going to be difficult for our opponent to knock them out either way. Go Psychic Energy there first. Let's go Karate Belts. And reasonably, I'm actually going to vibe with that Machamp Marshadow. So I'm going to go pass here. Next turn, my plan is to pop the Magnemites into a Magneton. So we'll see exactly how that works out. So maybe our opponent's not playing ADP, maybe they're playing Lucario Melmetal, which might be difficult for us to deal with as well. But we should be able to knock out their Zacian this turn. The Karate Belt leaving us is not the worst thing that could have happened. Just watch out for Lucario Melmetal for the most part. Oh, there's an Oricorio, which is an interesting tech. And they're just getting set up here still, so I mean... I think we're generally pretty okay. So we are going to go Evolution Incense here for a Magneton. Magneton's going to pop it. Don't stop, pop that. And we're going to search for a Green's Exploration, and we're going to go for a Lieutenant Surge. So we're going to play Lieutenant Surge as our first. And we're going to go Green's Exploration. We do need to use Zigzagoon, so we're going to grab a Quick Ball, which sounds good. I'm going to grab a Scoop Up Nets, which also sounds good. Still not playing those yet. And I'm going to use a Green's Exploration here. I do not want to forget the Karate Belt like last time. So I'm going to grab a Karate Belt, and I'm going to grab an Evolution Incense as well. So we'll give our opponent a bit of a bigger hand. Let's go Evolution Incense. Searching our deck for a Magneton. Now, I don't see any reason not to pop it. Let's go Boss Order Green's Kabu. Giving our opponent another prize card. Now, a reset stamp would have been great here. Let's Quick Ball away Energy Spinner, grabbing ourselves a Zigzagoon. We do need to ping. And let's go ahead and go for Calamitous Slash, so we are going to be able to get the knockout there. Oh, so our opponent is playing ADP. Interesting. I honestly wasn't expecting it when we saw the Zamazenta, the Tool Scrapper, all those other things. Okay. Interesting. So we'll have to adjust exactly what we're doing here. I think we're just gonna attack for 40. Actually, maybe we'll do something else here. If the defending Pokemon has at least one extra energy. If they can't get out of the active spot, I might actually just discard that. We'll see exactly how it goes. Our opponent's doing a lot of stuff during their turn. Yeah, that's really throwing me off. I wasn't expecting that. I actually don't know what other decks our opponent might play. If you're playing in any of the events that allows you to have open deck lists, or at least see what your opponent's doing, I heavily recommend just like checking out their list, because this would be really helpful at this moment. Yeah, our opponent's just gonna scoop. They didn't get it. They couldn't get out of the active spot. So as you can see, this deck is interesting. There's a lot of little plays that you can make with this deck that can set you up for success or ultimately ruin your game plan. We already saw that I made a crucial mistake with Karate Belt, but the best of us have brain farts at times. And the next game, our opponent wasn't able to get out of the active spot, even though it seemed like they switched from Lucario Melmetal Zacian into a Zacian ADP mid-game, at least with how their deck was built. But with hybrid decks and the way that the format's working, it's very possible that it's just a misunderstanding. So at the end of the day, I think this deck's interesting enough to give it a try. I welcome you to try this deck out. This is a great start for the list. It's not my personal list. It is the list of Caleb Rogerson and Gabriel Smart. So feel free to check them out on Twitter. They're both great players in this era of the game, and they've been crushing it out lately with this really cool list in general. I don't know if it's particularly a deck that I enjoy playing, but you want to know what? It is one that makes me scratch my brain and really pushes my limits as a player. So kudos to them for coming up with a great concept in a stale kind of format with Eternatus and Zacian ADP running the formats. They might be able to provide you with better tips than I have. So like I said, follow them on their Twitters. You can just search up those names on Twitter. But I appreciate all of y'all watching this video today, and stay tuned for more great content here on The Lone Blown. Peace out. Use code TheLoneBlown to save when you're registering for Hyperlux events. It will save you on your registration, and there's some large prizes. Be sure to check it out. Really hope that you enjoyed watching that video. I totally enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, share the video with everyone that you know, and subscribe to the channel as well. Totally appreciate all the support. We got a lot of cool things happening on the channel, so stay tuned for more. Be sure to check out the social links in the description. Thanks, and have yourself a great one.